Hey folks, Jon Najarian here. Welcome to Aspen, because that's where I'm broadcasting from. I'm actually at the Lithuanian consulate in Aspen. That's because my friend, the honorary consul of Lithuania, Jon Prunskis, and his wife Terry are having us out, and we're having a great time here. And I know you didn't just tune in to hear all that. You tuned in to see and hear 3 at 3. So let's get to it, right? All right, 3 at 3 presented on this, the 27th of July. We're going to talk about unusual activity. Wow, got a little bit of a siren in the background here. Anyway, 3 at 3 every business day at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's get to it. Disclaimer is that what I'm going to describe for you is for educational and informational purposes only. Full stop. Is anything that I'm showing you here on these screens? Just ask me. 99 times out of 100 I'm going to say yes. So if you'd like to use this in a presentation of your own or anything else, just ask me and attribute it to Market Rebellion, and we're probably going to be cool. Thank you. MarketRebellion.com/get started is where you'd go if you want to learn about stocks, options, futures, cryptocurrencies. We do all of that at MarketRebellion.com/get started. I think you'll love it. It's a great way to start and learn what to do and what not to do when you're trading any of those asset classes I just spoke about. Just check it out if you want to get started, or if you want to ramp up your skills from beginning to intermediate to advanced. KTOS. So we talked about this one, as you see, Thursday last week. Stock was under 18 bucks. We talked about calls being bought aggressively, and you know what happened? Yeah, that's right. They got a contract. Stock popped. That was a government contract. Stock popped to 2040. Bang. We took a big profit on this one. Moved on, because that's what you do. Like they always say, buy rumor, sell news. We bought the rumor that something good was about to happen. Sell it when that news comes. Got to keep your discipline. Tupperware, same thing. This one's from the 23rd as well, last Thursday. Tupperware, I talked about those September 8 calls being bought aggressively. Buy. And they were paying $1.50 to $1.60 roughly for those calls. Open interest was this big. So what did we do? We bought those calls along with them, all the way out to September. A lot of time to be right. Where did those calls go today? Well, stocks through 9, so these calls have moved all the way to a high on the day of $3.10. You know what that means? That means you got a double. 2x. A double. So you could take that off, because these calls are up another 15% today. 100% from when we entered last Thursday, or you could sell something else against them. Again, you want to learn more about trading, you come on over to Market Rebellion. We can teach you about trading. One of the things you could do, again, not advice, but one of the things you could do is sell those 10 calls against the 8 calls. Now let me put this to you. What if you bought those calls when I talked about them for $1.60, and then 2 trading days later, Friday and now Monday, 2 trading days later, the 10 calls are trading for the same price as the 8 calls that you bought for September? So what would that mean? That would mean you could put on that $2 spread, the difference between $8 and $10, you could put on that $2 spread for 0. Now, so in other words, you could take a $0 investment and turn it into $200. Because $2 in option speak, since every option's 400 shares, would be $200. So that's one possibility. Or you could just take off, most of what you put on for $2.70, because that's where those options are now. Put them on for $1.60. So on a $160 investment, $1.60, you're trading out of it for $2.70, which is $270. Not so bad to make $110 on a $160 investment. Or if you wanted to, you could sell these calls, you could sell the 9 calls, a host of things you could do. If you want to learn more about it, go to marketrebellion.com/get started. fresh meat today, the 27th of July. Take a look at Fiserv, FISV. Why? Because the stock was here. It has come down to here. Here's my buddy's Lithuanian, or actually, that's the European Union flag. But of course, Lithuania is part of the EU. Those August 7th expiration 102 calls were actively bought. Stock has come down pretty dramatically in the last little bit, so somebody wanted to put on a trade where they said, what if it just recovers to 102 from 100? I want to make some money fast. I'm going to buy these calls fast. 2 weeks till these calls expire. Where's the stock? There you see when the stock was basically at 104. It has traded down now to basically 100. And so for it to get back to 102 there, you think that's a big reach? I don't. So I joined them in here in Fiserv, FISV, and I'll probably be in these calls anywhere from a week to 10 days. Bang! Take a look at GLW. This is Corning. They announced today, Corning did, that they have a new Gorilla Glass. How new? Very new. I forget if they call it Victus or what they call it, but anyway, it's the strongest Gorilla Glass yet. They have earnings, as you see, coming up the 28th before the opening. So in other words, that's tomorrow. So this could be a very short-term trade because it's unlikely I'll hold them all the way into Friday, these calls, because the baby's born. The news comes out tomorrow in all likelihood, unless the market is just on a huge tear with technology. I'll probably take profits here. So they bought 5,000 of these calls. Let's call it for 50 cents because 45 to 60, let's say 50, 55 cents. So that'd be 55 double nickel, $55 per call. A 10 lot is $550. A 10,000 share equivalent, 1,000, because keep in mind every option's for 100 shares. So if I want to simulate a 10,000 share position, I can do that for $5,500. These calls could go, you know, stock's right here. If it makes it through 30 and goes to 32, 33, whatever, I could see these calls going to $1.50, $2, $3. Obviously, that would be a huge windfall because it could be 400% or more on the trade. I'm in these calls into tomorrow. I talked about it on the halftime report. I believe I made GLW my final trade. So keep an eye on it. Again, earnings tomorrow before the opening. This is what the stock has done so far today. Bang, bang. As you might imagine, calls that I bought for 55 cents this morning are already moving higher because that was when the stock was $29.90. Now the stock is $30.70, so basically 80 cents higher than when we bought in. Bang. Third and final of our 3 at 3 today is Fedex. Fedex stock was $168.40. I talked about this one a little over a week ago, and they were buying the 160 calls when the stock was like 158. Now, the same trader, perhaps is the same, again, we never really know, but we suspect it's the same trader, has now bought the 170 calls that expire this Friday. In other words, 4 days from now, does the stock go over 170? And if it does, these options that traded for $1.02 up to $2.80. So pick a point in between there. Let's say maybe even $2, $2.20. This, if the stock trades through 170, these are going to move fast. And I bought into this. I'm immediately selling higher strike calls against it as the stock has rallied. How much has the stock rallied? Well, this is not an earnings play because these expire this coming Friday. But I am in these calls. And where's the stock now? It was 168.40 this morning at 11:06. Now 169.90. So not 168.40. It is now $1.50 higher than that and has been through 170 already today. Bang, bang. That's what I'm talking about. Folks, you want to learn more about all this, go to marketrebellion.com/UOA. That is marketrebellion.com/UOA. Over there, we will teach you about unusual option activity, which is what UOA stands for. We do 20 or more trades a day in our trading room. Everybody that has access to that room gets every single one of those trades, gets into them before we do because we post them before we trade them, and they can talk back and forth with us as well as with each in there. You guys know who you are. There's a lot of great traders in that room, and everybody on the right side of the screen, they can talk back and forth to the moderators. There's 5 moderators in that room. Now, if that's too much activity for you, we have something that only is 1 trade a day, not 20 or 30 trades, 1 trade a day. Again, you have to decide what's appropriate for you. We have 1 trade a week. We have Pete's cash flow portfolio. We've got SMA Plus. We've got so many different services. I encourage you to check it out at Market Rebellion. And if you're really interested in particular in what I'm doing here, check out marketrebellion.com/UOA. Thank you, folks. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you on the halftime report again tomorrow.